I wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend.
What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead.
No soup for you.
Don't touch that dial. Adjust those bunny ears, because what time is it, Jay?
It's time to give thanks because you're listening to Sitcom My Face. I'm Jay. That's Nick. And
Hey, everybody.
we're back to a formula. We're talking about a show tonight. What are we talking about, pal?
Tonight, this was my choice this time. It was Everybody Loves Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But first,
let's.
God damn it, people! We talked about fucking dying. What are you doing?
I don't know. Well, let's see. We had a few deaths. You want to go over the first one there? I guess.
Well, yeah. Let's
one...
start with the big one. I guess my one that made me real sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big Batman fan, but to me, I would say probably the best Batman, Kevin Conroy.
Right.
Voice of the animated series among he did Batman Beyond as well, didn't he? The follow-up?
Yes, he did Batman the animated series. He did Batman Beyond. He also did the voice in many DC animated movies.
Which a lot of times those movies are pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Actually, DC has the better record with the animated movies. And he also played a live-action Bruce Wayne on the special Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event of a few years ago on the CW.
I know I bought a nice big box set of a bunch of the animated movies, the Batman movies. I think it was on Black Friday last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a couple of good ones. I mean, there's a couple of stinkers in there, but for the most part, there's a lot of pretty good animated Batman movies.
Oh, yeah, very
many
much
of them
so.
Better than the ones that you think are the big ones, like most of them are better than Batman Forever or Batman and Robin.
Yes. Yes. Most things are better than Batman and Robin.
I know it's hard to beat them. Bat
Sing
Devils,
it with me.
Good God.
Yes, mister. No.
Yeah, he was in Yoga Hosers, right? He had a cameo on that.
Yes, he actually, and he said,
Smith.
"Come along, Robin."
Yeah. And I know probably your favorite comedian has also passed, Gallagher.
Yes. Yes. He was a smash. Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Watermelons of the world unite. You can breathe a sigh of relief as Gallagher has passed.
One of those comedians who can get on stage and shoot his seed all over the audience and be celebrated for it.
Yep. Yeah. I think the first.
Kids are like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah. The first act I remember watching on TV where people in the audience, for the first, few rows or so, had the plastic ponchos or that plastic to, to save themselves from getting splattered with a watermelon.
I interviewed on my old show. I interviewed this guy when he did live performance art, and he would get banned everywhere because he would fucking cut himself and bleed everywhere.
Ah.
And he told me he was inspired by Gallagher, but he wanted it to be blood instead of watermelon.
Well, yeah.
He would hand out ponchos.
Some man's watermelon is some man's blood. Like they always say.
Hand out ponchos to the front couple rows, and they'd go, "What's this for?" And he goes, "You're gonna want to wear that."
Oh, and thirdly, in the sitcom world, Robert Clary, who played Corporal LeBeau on Hogan's Heroes. Hogan's Heroes being that great sitcom. What's the best premise for a sitcom? Hey, let's be POWs in a Nazi camp.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, and I was like, I don't know if I've seen much Hogan's Heroes, to be honest. I've seen the movie Autofocus, where Greg Kinnear plays the guy who starred in it.
Oh, Bob Crane, yeah.
Death. Yeah, it's about his very strange death.
Yeah, the strange goings on around his death and that.
That might be a fun pairing, actually, if we decide to do a commentary around that time. Maybe do that
Yeah.
autofocus.
No, that actually would be a terrific way to. It's like and enjoy the sitcom, and then it's like, okay, let's get into the life of Bob Crane and what the hell happened.
I feel like him and Carradine had a lot in common.
Oh boy.
Um,
And as usual for our second season of Sitcom My Face.
rolling the guests, right?
Yeah, rolling in guests
She back
that
there?
don't show
Your background's
up.
kind of blurry. Is she back there?
Nope. Yes. The guest tonight was actually supposed to be my wife Tracy, and she's not feeling well, so she took a rain check.
We don't have enough fucking pull to get your wife on the show?
Apparently not. And she was so excited that day, like she was, you had called me on Facebook, and she was above me in the background there, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like, well, I guess that didn't work out there. Yeah, I'm just getting over being sick.
What
but
the hell are we doing here, Nick?
But
cancel this fucking show.
Nah. But we do have a great show that we watched this week. Everybody Loves Raymond. And
Hey, speak for yourself.
Hey.
Everybody Loves Raymond aired on CBS from
Yes, it did.
96 to 2005.
Yeah,
A
it actually-
9-season run. Pretty
Mhm.
good.
Oh yeah.
Created by Ray Romano, based on the comedy of Ray Romano.
Yes, and
This, of course, was the 90s.
and Phil Rosenthal.
Yes, a very integral part of the creation of this show, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, this was the 90s, though, when basically all of the top shows were based on the comedy of a random comedian.
Yep.
So I think the networks were just in the clubs going, all right, who are we plucking next?
Yeah, well, if you think about shows based on a comedian's, stand-up, slash material and that, well, I'll say, of course, the one that, comes to mind is Seinfeld. That's number one.
Seinfeld, Roseanne, Home Improvement. Those are some of the big ones of the 90s, at least.
Yeah. And then, it's like, okay, so and then you have, Raymond. You have also, who was I going to say? Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm.
He actually had two shows.
He was cable, though. He wasn't as successful.
True.
He was never number one like them other shows.
Oh, exactly. Now this show, Everybody Loves Raymond, was in the top 10 for a good long while. Yeah, like, let's see, from season 3 on, the show only once was not in the top 10, and that was because it was 12. Other years it was number 4,
season?
7, 9. And
210 episodes.
And was, as far as primetime Emmys, was nominated for 69 of them. Excellent.
Gross.
It won 15 of them, 10 of them for the acting roles. It was also nominated for 21 SAGs, Screen Actors Guild Awards, which it won one. And also, it won a Writers Guild of America award for the Italy episodes.
For Emmys, I read something like the mom, Doris Roberts, won like 4.
Yeah.
I think the wife won 2. I want to say Ray and Robert both won 1. And then I believe Peter Boyle was the only one that was ever nominated but didn't win.
I
Is that
believe
correct?
you are right as far as who was nominated but not a winner. And also, being part of that CBS lineup, you did have some crossovers that it happened with Everybody Loves Raymond. That was the other big thing, it seemed, at that time.
There are two sitcoms that I know of that take place in the same universe. I'm sure you can name at least one of them.
Okay, one of them that we'll touch on a couple is Everybody Loves. How about Everybody Loves King of Queens?
Everybody loves Doug.
Yes, King of Queens with Kevin James. Although we do have some strangeness that in the first 2 seasons of Raymond, Kevin played Kevin. And then,
Yes.
like season 3 on, he was Doug Heffernan. If you want to give me another.
Oh, you have more than 2?
Well, no. I was going to say, yes, I have one other one.
The Nanny.
Yes, The Nanny.
The Nanny also takes place in the world of Everybody Loves Raymond. And I guess that's because Fran Drescher and him went to high school together?
Yes, actually at Hillcrest High School in Jamaica, Queens. Yeah, they were actually high school classmates.
What a weird class that's got to be.
Yeah. There was also an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, which had a double crossover. It was Raymond with King of Queens and Becker.
And then, that was so I told you there was like scenes at least that were lost from this weird crossover, but Cosby, that recent.
Yes, you told me.
What was the last Cosby show called?
Oh,
what was the one where like
Everybody
didn't him and his
Loves
wife own,
Roofies?
like, a
Oh, no,
coffee
wait, no,
shop
that's
or
not it.
something? I think it was the same wife from the Cosby Show.
Yeah,
but
Felicia
I think they owned
Rashad,
like a
but
coffee shop or some shit.
yeah, I
Or
forget
a
what it was
bookstore.
called.
It was something like that. Whatever that version of the Cosby Show on at that time, they also crossed over. So you had like Doug deliver a package on that Cosby Show, and then Becker and Everybody Loves Raymond, and them did something the same night. But I guess those episodes were not sold into the syndication packages because of different rights holders.
That's it. Yeah, that's really interesting about that because you're thinking it's like, oh, it's got to be part of the whole package. It's like, well, because of the other characters there, like regarding the other shows. Well, yeah, where are the rights on those?
Somebody has commented on one of our YouTube videos that they love Becker and they want us to cover Becker.
Oh, I'm definitely up for that.
I'm sure at some point we'll have to, pop a pill and take in the Cosby Show.
Like I said, the subtitle "Everybody Loves Roofies."
Yes. We are now covering Everybody Loves Raymond, and I have a feeling somewhere in the future we will be covering the King of Queens.
Ah, yes. I would even predict the near future.
So what was your you watched the show probably from day one, right? When it originally aired?
Yeah, I was a big Ray watcher. I actually had seen Ray Romano like in stand-up like on like some stand-up specials, and it's like, oh, this guy's funny. I actually have the book.
Your premium blends or some shit like that, whatever that was on.
Yeah, or young comedian special when Ray was actually a young comedian. He is definitely not that now. Just saw him on Celebrity Jeopardy.
Hey.
Oh. But anyway, I saw him, like doing his stand-up, and I saw him also. I
saw him at the urinal next to me, and I looked over. I was impressed. I figured I ought to follow this guy.
Exactly.
That's a Jersey boy representing.
No. But anyway, yeah, I liked the things that I saw him originally, so I was like, okay. When he came out with the sitcom, I'm like, okay, gotta check this out. And of course, Peter Boyle was in it, who I love from you know the movie.
Young Frankenstein.
Yep. And
putting on the Ritz.
Da-da-da-da, if you're blue. So, watching this, did you watch the first episode? Did you watch the pilot?
No, I did not revisit the pilot, no.
Okay. The interesting thing with the pilot is also, now Ray has, the main characters of Everybody Loves Raymond. You have Raymond.
Go over the cast real quick, yeah.
Yeah. You have Ray Romano as Ray Barone. Again, one of those people that likes to play a person with the same name. That seemed to be an ongoing thing in the 90s.
Isn't it weird they don't often use their last name? That's just
correct.
the tiniest separation. They almost never use their last name.
The Mary Tyler Moore, she was Mary Richards. It's
Mary
like,
Richards,
again, it started, I think, a while back then, but it just really seemed to be very dominant in the 90s that, people, like we were saying, that got the sitcom, a lot of stand-ups that got a sitcom, but they didn't use their last name except Seinfeld.
That really weirded me out as a kid. If you're like, the Dick Van Dyke Show, and then you watch it, you go, which one's Dick? I don't know who the fuck is Dick. I don't know who Dick is.
Which one's Dick? Which one's Van? And which one's a Dyke?
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh God, that'd be the Mary. What's her name? What was the Office lady? I forget her name. Rosemary.
Oh God.
If any of them, Rosemary.
But anyway, in the pilot. Actually, no. Let's go over the other characters. We have Patricia Heaton playing Deborah, Ray's wife. Then we have Ray's parents, Marie and Frank Barone, played by Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle. And then Ray's brother, Robert, played by Brad Garrett. For those...
probably my favorite part of the show.
Yeah, Brad Garrett actually steals the show a lot in Everybody Loves Raymond. Although I will say at the very beginning, it was a little weird. He was actually kind of puffier, like heavier.
Yeah.
And like he didn't have his voice down. If it makes sense. Like the normal,
the rhythm.
The cadence, the rhythm, and the pitch of Robert's voice.
He adds more rage. He adds more rage as the show goes on.
Yes.
Like he'll go from that to like to the anger, you know what I mean? And then right back down, which is one of my favorite. But yeah, in the beginning he's more monotone and just blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Later,
definitely more monotone. And as I said, he just it was strange watching that back then. It's like Brad Garrett looked, just like heavier, and then all of a sudden after that we have normal Robert. But and
none of them Italian, right? Besides Ray.
Ray is, I think, the only
Italian.
actual Italian there.
You should have an Italian dar, right? You're Italian.
An Italian what?
Right, like an Italian dar, like a gaydar, but for Italians.
Oh, I think that's called Guidar. But
Idar, Guidar. That sounds like a fucking Star Wars character.
Yo, Guidar, come over here. Yo.
Yeah.
Yo, put down the blaster. Hey, a lightsaber is a saner weapon to use. Anyway. So those are the main characters. And, of course, Ray also has 3 children. He's got twin boys and an older girl. The older
Interesting.
Girl,
this is the only show I know where all the kids are actually related.
Yeah, but not in the first episode. I believe in the first
Did they have a
episode,
different kid?
there were the twins. Number one, they had different names. They were Matthew and Gregory.
Yeah, I seen that.
And I believe they were played by different kids.
Then it goes to Jeffrey and Michael.
Yes, Michael and Jeffrey become the normal, who are, as you were about to bring up, but what were you saying about them?
Yeah, so the daughter and the twins in real life are actually siblings.
Correct.
So I wonder if they had if they were on set and maybe they realized they had like a natural chemistry, especially when the boys were so young.
Right.
I bet it was probably just easier for them to actually act with their real sister,
True.
Well, your not so fun fact of the.
Oh yes, yeah. No, we'll bring that one out later with yes.
One of the twins.
Yeah, one of the twins. We'll say it now. One of the twins had Charlie Brown syndrome. Good grief.
Yeah,
and when I say Charlie Brown syndrome, it's the same fate as the guy that was the original voice of Charlie Brown, who was also on F Troop, who unfortunately took their own life. But let's get into the fun parts of the show. Yes.
Who else do we not cover in the cast? We get on the cast?
Yeah. How about we'll go into Amy McDougal. Amy McDougal is played by Monica Horan, or Horan.
Wife of
wife of Phil Rosenthal, one of the creators
Fucking
of
nepotism. I was up for that role, but I didn't get it because I wasn't married to the fucking producer.
Well, that'll teach you.
And I was
next time you got to put
I was
out
like
there.
a 10-year-old boy, but that's unrelated.
But I
She was a good addition to this show, though. I thought she was really good with Robert.
yes, it was a good counterbalance, especially.
It's got to be hard to come in. She came in maybe midway through or something.
She actually had some episodes like earlier on, but then like wasn't on for a while and then came back because with the characters of Robert and Amy, they were on again, off again, like together.
I can imagine it being hard to come into this ensemble,
yes,
and hold your own, and I think she did a really good job with that.
Yeah, very much so. And I will say just up front, this is probably one of my favorite sitcom ensembles. I think the actual casting of the show was so perfect for the characters that they played. But getting into the actual show, well, how about this? Let me hand it over to you. How would you describe just basically the premise of Everybody Loves Raymond? If someone said, explain the show to me, how would you explain it?
This is your quintessential family sitcom.
Yes.
Ray and his wife raising their kids with the overbearing parents who are always there. They are every sitcom has the nosy, annoying neighbor who's always over. In this case, it's his parents.
Right.
Doris Roberts absolutely kills me on here. Peter Boyle.
Yes.
Those two and Robert for sure steal this whole show for me.
Yes, it's strange that it's Everybody Loves Raymond because I will say that trio of Doris Roberts, Peter Boyle, and Brad Garrett really steal the show. It's like
well, to be fair, they are the everybody, and Everybody
yes,
Loves
they are
Raymond.
the everybody.
So they're top billed. If you go by the rules of I Love Lucy, when they were fucking with Desi, when they said, "Well, you are top billed. You're the I in I Love Lucy."
Mm-hmm.
They are the everybody, and Everybody Loves Raymond. So
now,
except for Robert.
Yeah, except for Robert. But with those three, as you said, it's them coming over, kind of barging in, and nosing in on everything going on in Raymond and Deborah's life.
The show is really about the crumbling of a marriage and the strength one wife has not to murder everyone around her.
Yes.
Because you really do feel bad for Deborah most of the time.
Yes, you do. Because Ray himself, he's kind of an every guy, Italian American, father, husband that doesn't necessarily help around the house. He's a sports writer. He's he himself
Here's your trivia. What was the name of his column? His sports column.
Oh, well, I know the newspaper it was in New York Newsday, but what was the name of the column? I can't remember.
More Than a Game.
Oh, yes, you're right. Because the first not episode, but the first article, the first column with More Than a Game talks about how he and his dad bonded really over sports, and coming home from the Mets game and how it was like a different experience with him, and it was more than a game. And of course, at the end of the article is also to the person sitting next to me, will you marry me? And the person that's reading the article is Frank. So basically, Frank reads out loud the proposal from Raymond to Deborah, and Marie is the one that accepts.
It's appropriate for this show.
Very appropriate. And the other funny thing that they bring, they mentioned on the intro. Now, this is an interesting thing about this show.
That it's not about the kids?
It's not about the kids. It's
The
about
fucking kids
it's
are
a
barely in the
family,
show.
but the show is not about the kids. And
Yeah,
that's
is it the
very
original
strange.
opening where he says that? It's not about them or something.
Yeah.
One of the openings.
Yes,
said
I
something like
have
that.
a girl and twin boys, Michael and Jeffrey. Yeah, but it's not about the kids, and it kind of goes against the stereotypical family shows, especially sitcoms that. Hey, it's like, okay, this episode is about, okay, Allie gets in trouble at school, and this one, Michael and Jeffrey are sick, or sick, something like that. No,
But it's rarely the scene with the dealing with the daughter about it. It's usually the husband and wife bitching at each other about how to handle it or something.
Yes.
I noticed that a lot in this. There's a lot of probably the most common fucking line in this whole show is, "I'm gonna go check on the kids," because they're always in another fucking room.
Yep.
Not in the main living room.
A lot of times they're
in bed.
upstairs. A lot of
Yeah.
times they're upstairs.
Go check on the boys or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
You can tell they remembered that in the writers' room. Like, oh yeah, we should probably put something in there to, so they know the kids are still alive.
there are a lot of recurring, like, not just lines but themes. Gotta check on the kids. Yeah, if one of the actors or someone has to go off screen, yeah, gotta check on the kids. Another thing is there is an episode early on where for Christmas, Ray gets Marie and Frank the Fruit of the Month Club, which they absolutely
So
hate.
many pears. What am I gonna do with all these?
What am
pears?
I going to do with all these pears? Raymond, you take them.
I think you're supposed to eat them, Ma. But there's so many.
How can anyone eat all these?
You can get another box next month. More pears?
No. They
Oh, I
give you a
think it's
different fruit.
Different fruit, Ma.
But again,
You share them with so and so. They have their own pears.
the show takes the most mundane things about like just a family and
That's what I was
just
going to
gift
say.
giving.
This is really the show about nothing.
This truly
This show's
is
about absolutely nothing. Nothing
it's
at
really
all.
it's a show about family, but just the nothingness, not the nothingness, but just all the stupidity and like bickering and all the other things that go on within a family. But
There's so rarely any fucking jeopardy of any sort on this show.
right.
There's never like, oh, they're gonna get divorced, or you know what I mean? There's
No.
never like a moment where it goes past like being bitterly fucking annoyed by your in-laws or your husband, or that's just what it is. There'll be a whole scene of someone pouring cereal into a bowl, and then there'll be the rest of the episode is why everyone's annoyed by it. That
Yes.
kind of shit.
Yes, and I think that's one of the things that I liked about it, because it wasn't the
It's very non-threatening.
yeah, no, well, it's not just non-threatening though, but it was also a lot of the things you can relate to better, because like, okay, it wasn't some crazy going on, like say some strange scenario in Friends where like Phoebe is like and her twin sister Ursula is now doing porn, and Phoebe, it's like, no, it's not necessarily that. It's just like, oh, okay, Deborah borrowed a canister from Marie, and Marie said, oh yes, you borrowed this, and Deborah's like, no, and it turns out she did borrow it, but the kids are using it. Like it's something so mundane, so everyday, and you can relate to a lot of the goings on of this family.
The most prominent director I found through it, his name is Gary Halverson, or Halverson. He did 61 episodes of this. He also did 55 episodes of Friends. So
Wow.
pretty close to the same amount of both shows.
Nice.
Which is weird, because I didn't really feel, stylistically, I didn't really feel a connection at all to those two, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily think of, those two. And when it
He
comes
did
to
8 episodes of Roseanne and 11 episodes of Muppets Tonight, and a bunch of Macy's Day Parade, the Thanksgiving parade. So relevant to the time. Almost Thanksgiving.
If you go to also Phil Rosenthal's resume, his biggest thing was actually he wrote a lot for Coach. That was the
He was
show
a
that.
producer on Coach. Was he a writer as well?
Yes, he was also a writer.
I saw he directed one episode of Coach.
Yeah, but it was mostly.
He didn't have very many directing credits, like 4, and
No.
one was an episode of Coach.
Yeah,
And I don't think he directed any of this show.
No, it was mainly he was writer and producer, or executive producer, I should say. And then the other things, like he did shows like the 9/11 tribute telethon. And it's like he did these other things. Like, okay, wait, the guy that did Coach and Everybody Loves Raymond is doing this. It was a very strange resume, and of course now, if you're familiar with the Netflix series, Somebody Feed Phil.
He also had 2 guest spots on The Simpsons as a voice. I saw.
Yes, I forgot about
As like
that.
TV dad or something like those weird like random credits. I was like,
Mhm.
oh. He probably had friends over there.
Probably.
Because I don't know if he wasn't a big enough name to be like, we're going to get guest star Phil Rosenthal. I don't think.
Right, yeah. It's just one of those names that kind of flies by it in the credits at the end. We described Ray. How would you describe Deborah?
This took me a long time to appreciate Deborah when I first started watching this show, because I feel like she's great, but she always has to be the naggy, bitchy. Don't say that to her face though.
No.
Character, the wife. She's like your typical sitcom wife, and I kind of felt bad for her at first, but I guess the more you watch it, the more you appreciate the nuances of her.
Yes.
Because she rarely gets a chance to like shine. I feel like she always was playing second fiddle.
I agree.
The others,
Yeah.
which I kind of didn't love sometimes. But
Yeah. I would say also she's like kind of like, she's doing everything when it comes to their family, like, like taking care of the kids, cooking dinner, although it's like kind of basically stressed that she's not the greatest cook. And she's
the put upon one in
Yes.
the family, which is typically the father figure is typically the put upon.
Correct.
Oh, woe is me! But she's the one who's got to deal with everybody else's bullshit typically.
Yes, yeah, she's the one
And her
dealing
husband
with
does
everybody
nothing
else
to help her.
Yeah. Ray's mom comes over many times to help her out, basically to intrude and control everything.
When I'd seen the Emmys, I was actually very happy to see that she got a couple, because
Yes.
it would be very easy for her to be lost in this show.
And you know what? The thing about this show, the actors and actresses are so good that there are many times that they're just giving a look. They don't have lines. They're just responding with looks. Looks or movements, and you bust out laughing because of those looks or movements that they're doing, and it's like, okay, yeah, you didn't have to write a long script because, Patricia Heaton, Darce Roberts, what's his name, Peter Boyle, Brad Garrett. It's like everybody could do, could capture the audience by just giving like an exasperated look, like sort of like what the. Or something like that.
And this is a show that I hope they never bring back, because I don't want to see it without the parents. I don't want to see it without the parents.
No.
The grandparents.
No. The show...
I don't think it would work.
The show was great as it was. The great thing about the show, though, too, was apparently one of the things, the ideas behind of why they did what they did, they don't try to stress what time it is. Like how, like, you can watch The Honeymooners and still appreciate it because they're not telling you it's like, oh, it's a 1950s or, family, and stressing everything else that's going on around, stressing, oh, this event is happening, or, oh, this person's the president. They don't go into any of that. So it's basically a timeless sitcom the way they did it.
Yeah, I'm trying to. There wasn't even that many like big guest stars that I recall.
There are a few cool
much.
ones. Like one of the ones like in episode 3, Gene Stapleton of All in the Family fame played Marie's sister,
Really?
who's having basically a feud with Marie over when she attended Ray and Deborah's wedding. Marie put her at a table so far away from everybody. And again, just something that stupid, but like how many like either people out there can actually relate to this, where they've had feuds with family members that it's like, oh yeah, just something silly like that. It's like, oh, why'd you put me at this table with these people? Like I should be over there with this family and that. Yeah. And like being a multi-year feud that, oh, we haven't spoken to each other in years.
And the guest stars that I would consider some of the betters too, they went on to become more frequent regulars too, like your Fred Willard and your
yes,
Georgia Engel and your Chris Elliott. They all kind of became recurring characters, so I don't even count them as guest stars anymore.
Right. Now one that's a little bit of a not hazy, but before Chris Elliott, do you know who played his part?
There was another brother. I don't remember.
Yes.
I have seen this whole show probably once through before.
Okay.
So I have all the DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
So I've mentioned the DVDs are garbage, at least the first couple seasons.
Yeah, you were telling
me. You have to pick every individual episode to watch. You cannot hit play all on a fucking DVD.
That's stupid.
Also, was your quality really shit on Peacock? Because mine was. This show looks like trash on there.
I think mine was okay.
I think even when I looked on the digital, like Vudu,
yeah,
it was HD. I don't know if this is HD anywhere.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even like paying attention to that, but you know what?
Let us know if you find this HD, because I think even when I looked on Vudu, because they have the complete series sales every now and then. And I remember I didn't buy it one time. I'm pretty sure it was because it was not HD.
Huh.
But anyway, who was the first Chris Elliott role there?
Well, Chris Elliott plays Peter, who is Amy's brother, who has a comic book store. And there's an earlier episode where Ray has to go to that comic book store to get a Hacky-Do card for...
It was Comic Book Man the whole time?
Yes, it was Comic Book Man the whole time. No, Allie wanted a Hacky-Do card, which basically is a Pokemon card. And the person that is playing the role that Chris Elliott would take is Paul Reubens, Pee Wee Herman himself.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Which I think Phil Rosenthal had some kind of credit for a Pee Wee Herman special as well.
Oh, okay. That would make sense then.
So, yeah. It might have been just like a thank you though or something, but I think he has some connection to him then. I don't know if that was before or after this, but
yeah, I'm trying to think, because like I know there were a couple of earlier Pee Wee Herman specials like on HBO years ago. And then like afterwards, then you got like the Pee Wee's Playhouse and like other appearances there.
Pee Wee's Play with Himself House.
Exactly. play with yourself in the movie house. Yes.
That's my favorite.
It's like, what's that? Oh, it's just Jergens lotion. No, but
That's the word of the day. Wee! Jergens. Yay!
But let's break down some of the other characters too. Okay, Marie. Marie Barone is. What do you say?
The mom you wish you had, who will feed you and smother you in love.
Yes.
My mother is not Marie Barone. My mother was, hey, there's SpaghettiOs in the cupboard. I'm going to the bar.
Gotcha.
Marie Barone was like, oh, my sweet little boy, I love you. You're the most perfect thing in the world. Let me make you a feast at 9 p.m. before you go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the key word I think is like, yes, smothering with love, and also control. Like by doing these things, she can control her family.
And Deborah describes her as evil.
Yes.
To her, she's the most vindictively evil bitch.
Yes.
What was the one where she went to go make dinner and she like gave her the recipe, but she reluctantly gave her the recipe and switched one ingredient so she'd fuck it up?
Well,
Put a fake label on it and
yes,
everything.
she put a fake label on a it said basil, but it was actually tarragon, which has a very different taste than basil.
Fucking label. It fits perfectly. She's like, she's evil. What is wrong with you?
Oh God.
What's the catchphrase? Probably like, yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
Oh, sweetie.
But yes, yeah, like Marie is always barging in to to Ray's Ray and Deborah's house to it's like like I'll help here. She literally will say it's like here I brought over food, and like Deborah will be like, well, I made this. It's like here I'll throw that away for you.
That was a question I was gonna ask you. Do you think Deborah's actually a bad cook because the kids don't like her food?
Right.
Ray don't like her food. Obviously, the mom Marie is always talking about how bad her food is. Do you think she's actually a bad cook, or do you think that they're just so keen to the idea because of Marie always shitting on it?
I think it's a little of both. I think it's actually part of both. One, like Marie makes because the quality of Marie's cooking. Because what else is she doing every day? Cooking and cleaning. Those are the two things she does. And again, barging into the into Ray and Deborah's house. But okay, so between the quality of Marie's cooking and the fact of it sounds like Deborah is so worn down and stressed in that well, maybe her cooking's not up to Marie level. So yeah.
One blur. Speaking of barging into their house, one blurb I read on I think it was on the IMDb facts or something. It was like, why do the parents and Robert always come in the back door when they live across the street and the front door is way closer? So they're always walking around the back of the fucking house to storm in the kitchen door.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Well,
like, what?
It is weird, yeah, how they sometimes come in through the back.
Wherever the characters are, that's like, fuck it, just have them come in the back door.
Right.
But.
And when it comes to actually going into Frank and Marie's house,
or just drive through the front wall. One of the two.
Oh yes, yeah, you watched that one too, where where they backed up into the into the house.
That's one of our sitcom tropes. Drive through the fucking house.
Yes.
Urkel did it right on Family Matters.
Urkel did it, and then on
Stephanie
Full
did
House.
It on Full House.
Yep.
And then Marie did it on Everybody Loves Raymond.
And what was it though? Because Frank was in the car too. And it's like, like I told you to, to look out. It's like I couldn't. I wasn't wearing my glasses. I couldn't see. It's like it was a house.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was the episode also that Ray actually finally lost his cool with his parents because the wallpaper that they replaced the old wallpaper with didn't match. Now Robert. How about let's go into Robert. Yeah, we'll get back to Frank, but how would you describe Robert Barone?
The second most loved of two brothers.
Yes.
Always living in the shadow of his brother, who his parents think are perfect for some reason. Well, at least his mother does.
Yes. His mother, smothers Raymond with love. Robert lives with them for a good portion of the show, but at the same point, yes, Marie does not show the same love for Robert. And one of the reasons
he had a little disdain for his brother because of it. In fact, the name of the show.
Yes.
Everybody loves
Raymond.
Which apparently Ray hated the name of the show.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to change it, and they said, maybe in a little bit, we'll change it. And then it was like number 1, they said, and he went in. He's like, all right, it's time to change it. And they said, we can't change it.
No.
The show's number 1.
It's like, don't touch it. Hey, if it ain't fixed, don't broke it. But one of the reasons possibly that Marie doesn't treat him with the same love and such is, did you watch the episode where they talked about when Robert was born?
Mm-mm.
Or where Robert figures out when he was conceived.
Can you imagine that baby coming out of that tiny woman?
No.
That giant fucking baby coming out of that tiny, short-ass woman? She's lucky to be alive.
Exactly. But apparently, Frank and Marie were not married when Marie got pregnant with Robert.
Right. Yeah, I did. I seen a clip of it.
Yeah.
One of the episodes I watched was the 2-part clip show from like season.
Oh, which was interesting because it had people
6.
like Mary Tyler Moore, Bob Newhart, like some of the people that we love.
Ron Howard.
It's like
Clint Howard.
Ron Howard, yes, Richie Cunningham himself.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't watch those two because being that it was a clip show, I'm like, okay, let me just get to the actual episodes and get through that. But yeah, I think that was season 6 that they do that 2-part clip show. But yeah, like Robert is always, second fiddle to Raymond. Robert is a giant of a man with a very low voice, or baritone voice. Basically, for the kids out there listening, yes, Robert was Brother Bloat, the pufferfish from Finding Nemo. And he was Stromboli, also from Pixar's Ratatouille.
Is that the same Stromboli from Pinocchio?
No, not that Stromboli. Oh, not Stromboli. What is it? Linguini? Yeah, I think Linguini. Sorry, getting my pastas mixed
up. I think
up.
Stromboli is from Pinocchio.
Yes. Stromboli's Pinocchio. Yeah, Linguini.
And you mentioned Honeymooners earlier, and I remember he did that TV movie where he played Jackie Gleason.
Yeah. Have you watched that?
It's been a while, but yeah, it came out a long time ago.
Yeah, I always wanted to get to watching that, but I haven't been able.
I think it was on YouTube years ago. It might still be on there.
Okay, I got to check that one out.
Because that came out, I think, while this show was on. Still.
Yes, yeah, it was near the ending of the show, like latter years of the show. Now, Frank Barone. Oh, and also Robert is also a New York policeman. That's the other thing. So he puts his life on the line every day while Raymond is a sports writer for New York Newsday.
He's got the actual weird tick that Ray's real brother has, which Ray's brother is actually a real cop as well, I guess.
Yes.
But they always taps his food to his chin before he eats it.
Yeah, they call it crazy chin. Where, before he puts it in his mouth, he's got to touch it to his chin, and then it goes in his mouth.
Which I guess, I guess Ray's real brother does that, so he threw it in there.
Yeah, and they talked to Phil Rosenthal about, like, well, didn't you want this show to go longer? It's like, yeah, we ran out of, like family quirks, because they were drawing from their own families.
The whole crew. They said the whole crew.
Yes, the whole
and everybody
crew
would throw their stories in and...
Yes, and that's how we got a lot of these stories and the characters.
Well, that's the thing, too, is like because the show's so mundane, it's like people probably tried to pitch actual stories. And they're like, we don't want your real fucking stories around here. We want the most fucking ridiculous, small, stupid thing,
Yep.
So I bet you someone was like, oh, I got a bank robbery story. No.
Nope.
Too exciting.
Too much.
Too fucking exciting. No, not for this show.
Yeah, it's like, that's unbelievable. Right. Now, if you said you went to the bank and you forgot, like your wallet there, and something to that effect, and like the saga to get your wallet back, that would be.
I didn't revisit it at this viewing, but in my past history of the show, I recall really loving the episode where the entire episode is just Deborah and Ray being really passive aggressive about him leaving his suitcases on the stairs.
Yes, that is a great episode.
Like the whole fucking episode is just about
who's
this
gonna take
fucking
the suitcase upstairs and empty it.
He comes back from like a trip or something, and he just kind of puts his suitcases on the stair,
on the
middle
landing.
there,
Yeah,
and and leaves it there, and it's just this whole fucking battle.
and
but it's real passive aggressive and not like direct or
Oh, and passive aggressive. That's a great way also to describe Murray.
Yes.
But
I would say that's a pretty good episode, probably, if you've not seen the show, to kind of get the vibe of the show.
Yes, yeah, that is a good one to start around with. Okay, Frank Barone. How would you describe Frank?
He's my spirit animal. He just sarcastic and always he just wants to eat and sleep. That's what the man wants to do. He's like, why the fuck are you interrupting my day with your nonsense? I just want to eat and sleep. Marie, make me some lunch.
Yep.
Got some of the greatest one-liners in this show.
Yes.
Whenever you need a button for a scene, I feel like they went to a crazy Frank line. Like maybe the craziest moment of the show is when Ray and Robert are like spray painting the house, and Marie walks out the door and they paint her.
Yeah,
like spray paint her.
That's probably like the craziest like scene.
Right. That's like the extent of like the physical comedy, I would say, of a show like this. And just that great, like everyone's dying laughing, and then he still gets an extra laugh when Frank walks by and says, "That's gonna need another coat." Doesn't even look at the camera. His back is to the camera. He just passes by and says, "That's gonna need another coat," and continues to walk off frame and escalates the laughter. Like, that's the kind of shit he could get away with.
I love still. There's one line that just like does it for me. Like the episode. It was one of the Christmas episodes where Ray and Deborah, they've always had a problem when giving Marie and Frank a Christmas gift. So what Raymond decides is that year they're getting toasters for everyone engraved, like with their names, from Allie, Michael, Jeffrey, Ray, and Deborah. So what happens
is when they go to return it or something?
Yes, because what happened is before Christmas they didn't even open the box. They returned it, got a coffee maker.
Mm-hmm.
And now they go back to Bloomingdale's to return the coffee maker to get the original toaster back. And I'm trying to remember what exactly prompts, because Frank wants to do it his way, just like, let me handle this, let me talk, and we can get both the coffee maker and the toaster. But Marie is talking, and Frank back talks her, and she's like, "What am I, some kind of trophy wife for you?" It's like, and he goes,
"You're a trophy
wife? What contest in hell did I win?"
Yep.
And the stunned look on his face. It's like, "You're a trophy wife?"
Yeah. What contest in hell did I win? Yeah. That was on the clip show.
Oh, yeah. No,
and,
I can imagine.
The great Marie line, too, where they had this statue that looked like a giant vagina.
Yes. Which apparently
could
be shown in the UK for years.
There's just this giant vagina statue. That's all it looks like is a vagina.
It was...
And Marie's just staring at it. And she just goes, "Oh, my God, I'm a lesbian."
Yeah. "Oh, my God, I'm a lesbian."
Oh, my God, I'm a lesbian.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be abstract art, but then the first ones to notice are Ray and Deborah. It's like, wait, doesn't that look a little, female to you? It's like, oh my God. Then the next one is Robert realizes. The last person to realize it is Frank. He's looking at it at the because Marie took a class, so like all the students put their art on display, and Frank is still staring at the thing, and the janitor goes by. Oh, you know what that looks to me like? And he whispers it in Frank's ear, and Frank looks at it, and what is a Frank Barone main line? But holy crap!
Yeah.
Yes, that is a line that is uttered many times by Frank, and will get the best laughs because of his timing.
What's your favorite episode of the whole show? Do you have one?
Favorite episodes? Well,
I know this is more your baby, so.
Oh yeah, no,
this show I think is one that you've been talking about since
yes,
the very
yeah,
beginning.
I love this show. One of them is She's the One. That's the episode where Robert is dating this girl, and she speaks 4 languages. She's beautiful head to toe. She's smart. She's funny. Like, Deborah invites her over. So, like, both her and Robert over so they can meet. So basically, they can, check out who Robert's dating, and everybody is loving this girl. And then Ray notices something while they had stepped into the kitchen. Robert is asking Deborah and Ray, it's like, oh, what do you think? I think this may be the one. And Ray happens to notice that the girl, she killed a fly. That, happened to also, as, again, the joke about Deborah's cooking. It's like, oh, I guess somebody else likes your cooking. And a fly. The girl, smacks her hand. She gets a fly. She puts it in her napkin. And when she thinks nobody is watching, she picks it up and eats it. This is also one of the crazier things that happens in an episode. And then when Ray is trying to tell Robert and Deborah, when because he was about to bring in like coffee or tea to everyone, bring it into the living room, and he sees this, and he's explaining to them, it's like the fly. She put the fly in her towel. She picked it up, and the way he says this, he almost literally falls like faints from saying this. He goes like, and she ate it. I watched Inside the Actors Studio with the cast of Everybody Loves Raymond, and literally when he did that, it's like all the blood rushed and he almost fell over saying that line, and she ate it. Which makes watching that line all the better. And when nobody else believes him, Robert goes back to her apartment, and things get a little hot there, and she's basically, I'll meet you in there to go into the bedroom. Robert goes into the bedroom, and do you remember what he finds? What she keeps?
No, I don't remember that episode very well.
Okay. She's a big fan of frogs. She's got aquariums.
Yeah. I remember the
full
visual
of frogs.
That, yeah.
All over, and even in the closet, he's looking for an escape. He opens the closet. There's more aquariums full of frogs in there. So
I do vaguely remember that visual of all the
Yeah. So one of the other great lines from this episode comes, Robert's climbing out the window. It's raining out. He's hanging from the windowsill. And she's like, what are you doing? And it's like, I was going to go out and get us some ice cream. Rocky Road, chocolate chip. I hear you like a different topping. Of which she,
Would that be a deal breaker for you if you found out your wife liked flies?
You
What if
know,
you found out she's been hiding it all these years?
no,
And she's been eating
that wouldn't
flies?
be a deal breaker, but yes, for like,
Wouldn't there be disease involved? Just
I don't know.
flies over on some cow shit, and then she eats it.
Then she ate it.
Some of my favorite things I watched on YouTube, I watched some of the blooper reels.
Oh God.
And like apparently they liked Ray never to do the same line.
Oh.
Like not only for the audience, but to see what would work in the scene. So whenever there was like a punchline, he was ad-libbing a different punchline, and he would constantly fuck up Brad Garrett, who never expected anything he was going to say.
Yeah,
those were some of the funniest.
Yeah, they would crack them up.
I remember one, they're sitting in the dining room, they're sitting in like maybe a wedding reception or something, and he finally just goes, "I did my line, do yours, just do whatever the hell you want." Because he would always give his line, and then he would get a new punchline, and he couldn't finish.
Oh my God.
That was pretty funny. But yeah, they said sometimes he would come up to like 20 different punchlines in a scene.
Holy crap!
So I guess
in the words of Frank,
actually like, I guess he was pretty good on the fly with whatever, you know.
Yes.
I tried to watch one from each season.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were two-parters though, like the Italy one I watched.
Oh yes, Italy was a two-parter.
The best one. I watched both parts of that
with Stefania, who worked at the gelato shop.
The first season I watched The Game, where they play Scruples.
Oh God,
that was a fun one. And you could tell that Deborah, was it Patricia Heaton, must have been pregnant in this episode. She's wearing a giant shirt and constantly carrying laundry basket, standing behind chairs.
Yes,
all your cliche sitcom things they do to cover up a pregnancy.
Yeah, and I think she was like pregnant a couple of times on this sitcom, so that's why also some of like she wasn't in many scenes at times, because the scenes that she could be in, they had to hide it. And then,
this one was just so blatantly obvious. Like every time she'd cross frame, she's carrying this laundry basket so close to, like it was just really standing behind the chair in the living room the whole time. You're like, yeah, I get it. Season 2, I watched Ray on TV, which might have been Kevin James' first appearance.
Yes, I think that was his first appearance as Kevin.
6 out of the 8 times on the show he was Kevin, and 2 of them he was Doug.
Actually, no, you know what? He was actually in season 1. He was the one with the game where the basketball team. What was it called? Oh, Captain Nemo. That's what the episode was, because Robert was captain at the one point, and the guys didn't like him the way he was managing, so they asked Ray to be captain instead. And Kevin, they come over to the house to get Ray out of bed, and what's his name? Kevin James does a great actually imitation of Ray Romano. Oh, my head! Oh,
he does that out of King of Queens when he's on there too.
Yes,
a couple times. Season 3, I watched the Halloween one that I think you referenced with
yes,
Frank playing the monster. Of course, as
Frankenstein.
We mentioned he was a young Frankenstein. He was the monster.
Yes, and with the great line, it's like because Marie dresses as Bride of Frankenstein. And it's like, what's your doctor make bad bride? Monster sue doctor.
Then he accidentally hands out the condoms.
Yes, the multicolored condoms.
Thinking they're chocolate coins. Season 4, one of my favorite guest stars on the show. I watched the Cousin Gerard episode.
Yes,
he was
Gerard.
on there. He was on 7 episodes.
Yes,
Cousin Gerard.
And
this guy has been on every fucking sitcom.
Yes.
I swear.
He is definitely someone that...
Fred Stoller, that's his name.
Yes, Fred Stoller, and he's got a whiny voice as well. And when he and Ray are going back and forth saying the word now, say now.
Yeah, he talks just like Ray, and Ray hates him, finds him annoying, and everyone's like, that's you, bro. Like, yeah. He's been on Bob's Burgers, My Name is Earl, Scrubs, Friends, The Norm Show, Dharma and Greg, King of Queens, Wings, Seinfeld, The Drew Carey Show, Living Single, and Coach.
It's like, how many of those have we already done? He's been on those shows.
And the rest we probably will.
We'll
at some
do,
point.
yes.
Yeah, and then season 5, Italy 1 and 2, which I gotta say, you said they won some awards for it.
Yes.
Those were some of the most boring episodes I watched, to be honest.
Well,
Like, it looks nice because they're in Italy.
It was
but
beautiful because they're in Italy.
They weren't that interesting story-wise, though.
Well, I guess, like, the Robert and Stefania and her dad, who hates Robert, and the fact of Ray is hating it, like, everything about Italy until, like, the second episode, and then he finally, it's like, oh, I love it. You know, like, I guess that was the whole...
I was kind of like, wow, I remembered a little more substance in these, but it wasn't really that much. Season 6 was the 2 best of I watched. Season 7, just a formality, where Robert wants to propose to Amy, and he goes to her parents,
God.
Georgia Engel and Fred Willard.
Fred Willard. It's like yeah, I'd like to ask your daughter's hand in marriage, and then they look at each other, and Fred Willard's just no.
He's
so
trying to win
casually.
over. Yeah,
No.
We don't think it's right at this time, or something. Season 8, I watched The Mentor because I remembered really liking that.
Oh,
one.
yes.
This guy shows up and is telling the boys how great Frank is. Your dad's so awesome, and he was my mentor. And they're like, "What the fuck does he see that we don't see?" And it ends with that great scene with the hug when they try to get Frank, hug your boys, and they're all just standing there.
Yeah,
awkwardly
it's just
in the
like very
kitchen,
stiff and like.
Yeah, that was a fun one. And then they build it up like they think that he was giving this guy this great advice, but really he just really liked Frank's style of advice, which is like, stop being a wussy and deal with it.
Yeah, that's the straight shooting.
Right, that was what he gravitated to. It wasn't anything different, really. And then I watched, for the 9th season, I watched the finale because I couldn't remember the ending. It was a pretty good finale, actually.
Yes, it was. And you know what's the strangest thing? To this point, I hadn't watched the finale. That was the one episode I was missing. So I finally got to watch the finale.
I think that we've mentioned it before, but the main thing that a lot of shows do wrong for a finale is if they don't make it feel like the show. Like if they try to do something a little too much.
Yeah.
This was an interesting one. Like Ray goes in for a very minor surgery, and there's a split second where they think that he's not going to come out of the anesthesia.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole rest of the episode is will he find out what happened in those moments?
Will he find out, and will Marie find out, because she walked away as well when that was happening? You know, like before they came out to say that, she walked to the bathroom.
For a show like this that we said is so like minute story-wise, it's all really. This was a really good, I think, finale for this because it is all the characters together. It's about Ray. It's about the relationships to Ray. It's about how would they react if they were to lose him. Mm-hmm. I think this is a really good finale. And it's not one that I don't think you would, like a lot of people would be like, remember how amazing that finale was. But it felt like another just good episode of the show. Right. Which I really liked. Now, when we discuss next week's show, we'll see maybe how to do a finale wrong. Because I think that's one of the worst fucking finales.
I agree with you. I have seen that finale, and it was like, it was just so disappointing to me.
Yeah, it was dumb, but so those are all the ones I watched.
One other thing though, season 8, the Thanksgiving episode for that. If you want another great episode, watch the Thanksgiving episode. I think it's Whose Side Are You On, where they do a Thanksgiving pageant. So like the kids are, the boys are dressed as Indians, Allie's dressed as a pilgrim. Ray's family are all dressed as Indians, and Amy's family is dressed as pilgrims, and the whole thing that throws this whole split into, besides the pageant, is the fact of a bird hit the window, and Amy's mother took it and they think, oh, well, she's going to take care of it or something. No, she went for someone so soft-spoken. So you're like, oh, and they're supposed to be very like religious, like Amy's parents. And yeah, she basically puts it out of its misery. Yeah, which is done off camera, of course, but
this is being one of your favorite shows. One of the writers, the prominent writer that I found, Tucker Cawley, who did 36 episodes of this. He did one of the shows we've discussed that we both did not like. He did 24 episodes of the 2015 iteration of The Odd Couple.
Oh. Well, I guess.
How does that make you feel? The most prominent writer here did a bunch of episodes of that pile of crap.
It's like, I guess you can't win them all. Well, then again, Phil Rosenthal, one of the things he was known for before Raymond, besides Coach, was the show Baby Talk. Yeah.
Oh. This guy also did 12 episodes of The Mindy Project, which I've never seen.
Okay.
And 16 episodes of a show that I did like, but I don't know anyone else who's ever seen it. Up All Night. That was the one with
Gilbert and Rhonda Shear.
I think that was the one with Christina Applegate, right?
Oh,
Christina
that
Applegate
Up All Night. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of USA Up All Night.
Christina Applegate and Will
Yes.
Arnett, which we gotta cover that show because it is the weirdest. Have we talked about that show before?
I don't think we have. Yeah, but you've mentioned on many of occasion Christina Applegate, but I don't think you've mentioned that particular show.
She just got a star on the Walk of Fame the other day.
Awesome.
But Up All Night, it's an interesting study. In the first season, it was a workplace comedy, and it didn't work. And so the second season, they made it a home sitcom, and it didn't work. And the third season, it was in the midst of remember when sitcoms started doing live?
Yes.
Then the third season, they signed up to do a live version of it. And then it fell through because the creator left. She was pissed off at NBC, the network.
Wow.
And they canceled. So how many sitcoms, though, go workplace, home, and then was about to do some crazy shit like go live, and they were like, fuck this, and they just gave up. But had Maya Rudolph on it as well.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. One thing I know also, like as a side note, in season 9 of Raymond, and I think some of season 8, you'll notice that Frank is in the chair a lot because at that time Peter Boyle was starting to have some issues. So when Phil Rosenthal was actually on the Gilbert Gottfried podcast, he was talking about it's like we want to make it easy for Peter. So most of his scenes are in the chair, and he got less
So it was
scenes.
like the Barbara Floyd on Andy Griffith's show when they kept him at the chair the whole time.
Exactly, yeah, but his was after a stroke, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think they said that Doris Roberts was actually like 10 or 15 years older than Peter Boyle.
Yeah, which was kind of weird because if you looked at them, you thought Peter Boyle was the older one. And other things, as I said, I watched the Inside the Actors Studio with them. I saw that one prior. I also I
just think of Will Ferrell as James Lipton every time I think of
Oh, yes. Again, the Gilbert Gottfried with Phil Rosenthal. And one of the things you have to check out is the episode of SNL from the 90s with Ray Romano as the host.
Hosted?
Yeah, he hosted. And in the opening monologue, Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle show up and are acting like his parents from Raymond.
Yeah, like you're not doing it right, Raymond, or something like that.
Yes. Especially Peter Boyle, who had
Ray
done it
Romano
before.
How would Ray Romano say live from New York it's Saturday night? Go.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Very good, very good. Very good. With musical guest.
It's like
Bruce Springsteen.
And we'll be coming back now.
Well, is there anything else you want to add on, Raymond? I know this is one of your favorites, so get
I
it
know,
out now while you can.
It is one of my favorites. And again, just in summation, I think this is one of the best as far as family sitcoms. Like, it's just a timeless family sitcom that, as you said, is like a sort of about nothing except the trivialities of being a family and everything you do day to day. But from its cast gets such, like the energy and the material just comes from just how stellar a cast it was.
I don't think I ever watched it when it originally aired. I think I ended up it was one of those shows where when Blockbuster, when them were going out of business, I bought a bunch of DVDs, and I think I bought one of the seasons.
Okay.
And just happened to watch it, and then kind of plowed through it, bought all the DVDs and plowed through it. So yeah, I wasn't really there from the get-go. But I did watch King of Queens when it was on. Mm-hmm. Even, it seems kind of weird. But for a spinoff, these shows don't feel similar to me at all, really.
Right.
We'll discuss more of that perhaps at another
upcoming date or such. Yeah. King of Queens to me felt more of the crazy situation type of thing, while Raymond was more.
Their styles of humor are very different.
Very different. Written very differently.
Kevin James and
very different character types. Even though they're both kind of family sitcoms.
Are we ready to go to our lists?
Yes, I think so.
So anyone who may be new to the show, and we haven't discussed it in a month or so because of vacations and non-sitcom related episodes.
Yeah,
but
just really quick. Speaking of non-sitcom related things, how's Deer Camp 86 going? You did a couple more screenings.
We had screenings the 4th and the 14th and the 15th. The 4th I did not go to because it sold out even before the star of the damn movie could get a ticket. But I heard it was amazing. They were doing like testimonials and stuff. I guess they're putting packages together for presenting to certain places. So I was sent a few clips of, people praising the film, which I always love. I saw IMDb's got some reviews up. It's got like a 9.5 out of 10 up on IMDb out of a good amount of reviews. So
I've seen some of the reviews out there, like that one video you showed me. Again, you want to marry this guy at this point, but
oh my god, we got a YouTube review, and this guy
loves your character.
I owe him a lap dance or a beer or both. One of them.
Just careful what order you do the two.
Yeah. And and then Monday was pretty close to sold out. And then Tuesday, the opening of deer hunting season. We were only about half full that day, but the weather was crap and it was opening day, so
right.
I didn't take it to heart, but a lot of my coworkers went, so thank you for that. A bunch of my high school friends went. Some people I haven't seen in 20 years, friends that I haven't seen, and their parents, and it was just really cool because that's kind of up where I grew up, about an hour north of where I grew up. So
sweet,
cool to see some of those people. Thank you all for coming out to that. It was great, reconnecting sometimes, and telling me how amazing I am really helps this head get bigger. So thank you.
And again, like I guess, like in the paper, it's like hometown boy does good.
yeah, they wrote one of those. That was fun. My Facebook's been blowing up with, "Hey, I remember you, kind of."
I think I remember you.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, it's been very good, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, and again, you will keep us abreast of future showings, especially if yes, or two press. Especially if you come down this way, if any showings down this way in the Jersey, New York area, I'd love to see it.
I know. I want a damn 4K release, bro.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
All right. So we at the end of these, we like to go over our list. In the first season, we covered 20 sitcoms, and then we ranked them in a list based on our favorites of the shows, not of highest quality. I think at the end of this season, we will probably go a quality list is what we've discussed. But for now, this is our favorites in order. So, what were your top 10? Start with your favorite.
Okay, my top 10 currently is Modern Family, Mary Tyler Moore, Honeymooners, Friends, Bob Newhart, Odd Couple, Night Court, News Radio, Raising Hope, Living Single. That's my 10 currently.
All right. All right.
That was 1 to
Now,
10, by the way, yes.
Favorite to 10.
Yes.
Where would Everybody Loves Raymond fall for you in that
Well,
list?
I'm curious for you, sir, being that this is not one of necessarily your favorites, where would you rank this on your list?
All right, so let's see, what are my
Well,
top 10 here?
let's go over your top 10.
Night Court, News Radio, Friends, Raising Hope, Honeymooners, The Bob Newhart Show, F Troop, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, and Modern Family. Is that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's my top 10.
Okay. Here's the question. Does Everybody Loves Raymond meet your top 10, or where does it fall?
Does it breach the top 10? It does not breach the top 10.
Wow.
It hits number 11, though.
Okay, this one goes up to 11.
This one falls right between, for me, Modern Family and The Munsters, which I think is still a respectable spot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just out of the top 10 for me. It's a show that I enjoy it. And I get a few good laughs out of it. I like some of the characters. A few of the characters are not that interesting to me, but the ones that are kind of make up for it. And I don't know, the rewatchability for me is not amazing for some reason on this show. Maybe because it is so subtle. And I don't know why I like it, but I don't love it.
Okay.
If that makes
So everybody loves Raymond, but Jay likes it.
I like Raymond. I don't love Raymond. I don't know. Like I said, it's just so mundane. And I don't have kids. No, I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. So that's perhaps maybe some of the things that they focus on a little heavy that I don't relate to, and that's not
right.
That's not a knock against the show. That's just not my life.
It's just you don't relate to those aspects of the show as others might.
But Robert, Marie, and Frank kill me.
Yeah, they steal the show.
So,
I totally agree. Those three characters steal the show. Mm-hmm. And it could be done with a look, a very quick line, like as you gave from from Frank, from Peter Boyle, or just even sometimes just like they just walk into the room, just their presence makes something funny.
You also know that I love a little more edge to a show.
Yes,
this is a very smooth edge show. There's not a lot. Oh,
very much so. Very much.
There's not a lot of that, bite. Actually, in the bloopers, a lot of those one-liners that Ray threw out, a lot of them are kind of dirty or derogatory, but none of that stuff ever really worked its way into the show as much.
Right.
In fact, they go out of their way to, and I don't know if there's the episode where like Ray's talking to Frank about using terms like fairy and fruit, and has the conversation with him like, when you say those things, you mean gay, right? But at the same time, in the bloopers, Ray's making the same kind of jokes. So I don't know if at some point there was the turn where maybe they got some flack for something they said on the show.
Yeah, that's possible.
And they used Frank as the character to talk about it.
Yeah, just like an Archie Bunker.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So I don't know. It's got some edge in Ray's humor. It seems here and there. There are sexual jokes and stuff, but they never quite get over that hill of like offensive. And I feel like I need a little bit of offensive in my shows.
It's funny, actually. The one episode where, in fact, with the the Halloween episode with the Frankenstein giving out the condoms, they never say the word condom.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say what it's for. They
multicolored.
Yeah,
there's like multicolored medallions or coins or whatever.
And they don't necessarily say sex. They allude to all the things. It's just like the Seinfeld, like the contest. They're talking about masturbation, but they never say the word masturbation.
In fact, in that final scene of that episode where Ray is screaming out the window at the trick-or-treaters, like, "Hey, did you get candy from Frankenstein?"
It's like
he wants to find one of the he wants to find one of the kids that has one of the condoms.
Yes.
And Deborah's falling asleep on the bed, and he keeps tapping her. No, wake up, wake up. I wonder if Cosby was like, why is he waking her up?
Line of the episode. But
you don't need her awake. What are you doing?
But like you said, yeah, it's that type of edginess. Yeah, if you're looking for that, it's not gonna be that. They will go about things in a way that you understand things that they're alluding to, but they don't say
I'm a lesbian. Oh my God, I'm a lesbian. Yeah, I like it. I just don't love it.
Okay.
I want to know where you're gonna plop this.
Yeah. Again, this is where you and I very different on the scale here. Okay. Yes, I'm married. I have no kids, but I did grow up in an Italian family. So
more Italian than this family.
Well, yeah, an actual Italian family, but like I can definitely relate to a lot of things in this show. Not necessarily personally me sometimes, but also, I have a lot of friends that are Italian. I have a lot of so.
Do you have a lot of siblings?
No, I'm an only child.
Oh wow, that is unusual for an Italian family, right?
Yeah, I know. I was one of those, but
oops.
But anyway,
you were an oops. I was like, God damn it.
I am actually putting this. Yeah, you want to take a guess?
Your number one was Modern Family, and that was a show you were new to when we watched it. So
yes.
I feel like you might put this at number one, but I'm not positive.
And this is my debate: does it become the one, or is it the two?
Well, that's because you adapted to Modern Family so fast.
Yes.
That I feel like it might be easier for you to shift it down.
And I think that is what I'm going to do. So,
because you would have more nostalgia for this than you would Modern Family.
Yeah. So for me, actually, this becomes my top sitcom.
So your number one and number two are my 10 and 11, which is interesting. And actually, I think that my 1 and 2 were lower in your 10s, right? Night Court and News Radio were what numbers for you?
7, 8.
Okay, so yeah, those are flip-flopped. But the ones in between, I think, were similar, which is interesting.
And I will say this. I've been looking at my list, and I think my list will change by the next time we do it. Because...
And again, like I said, Night Court and News Radio, more edge.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's definitely an interesting juxtaposition in our
particularly types. News Radio, because revisiting that show, I forgot how funny it was.
Sweet. All right, well, tell them what we're doing next week.
Well,
in case you couldn't get the hints and the winks and the butt
since
tickles.
We just visited with Raymond, I guess we'll visit with Doug Heffernan next time.
Go around are they both in Queens?
No, actually, Raymond lives on Long Island.
Oh.
Yes, he lives on Long Island. While, what you call Doug lives in Queens. Yes, we are going for the King of Queens. And yes, we will discuss that last episode that it seems both of us are a consensus on. What the hell were they thinking?
One of the dumbest.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about King of Queens, which is one of my favorite shows.
Yes, and I really enjoyed too.
That's a spinoff of Raymond, which is a show that I'm kind of neutral toward, and you love.
Yes.
And the spinoff is one of my absolute favorites that I don't know that you're super into. I don't want to know right now until next week what you think of this show.
But I will say, both of these shows, very well cast.
Oh, yes.
But we'll get into that cast next week, actually. I believe we are looking for Tuesday.
Yeah, we're playing a little catch-up, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, give the peeps the tweets and the emails and the dick pics and, the
Dick Van Dyke pics. No, well, if you want to reach out to us at Sitcom My Face, you could email us at sitcommyface@gmail.com. You could go to our page on Facebook, facebook.com/sitcommyface. And if we ever decide to put anything on Twitter, and if Twitter is still there, then get us at Sitcom My Face.
If you see a blue check mark pop up, it's not us.
We ain't paying $8 a month, Elon. Now, if you want to hit Jay up on Twitch, where can they reach you?
Twitch.tv/BidwellFog. You can also search us on YouTube. We don't have the domain name yet, but you can find Sitcom My Face there. And
Right.
You can find my personal page on YouTube /BidwellFog, I believe, or search Noob Sweat with JJ Bidwell. That's my gaming channel.
Yes, NOOB.
Yes. It's like boob sweat, but noob. Get it?
And I, on Twitch, am twitch.tv/netnick191. The only thing I seem to put out there are these shows. So,
Our positive vibes, Nick.
yes, positive vibes. And, like, we are just, so you guys all know, we are looking into some alternative routes also to reach you all. So, yeah, to be discussed in the future.
Mostly cameras in your bathroom, but...
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was I not supposed to tell him that part? Damn it.
Well,
I'm not good
and
at
again,
this.
and of course, if Cosby has taught us anything, we'll slip them the roofie first. But,
Well,
that was another exciting episode of this show. And what would
make
you
some
like?
room on your face, because I think some people want a sitcom it.
Yeah. And until next time, please do Sitcom My Face.
My filthy, filthy face.
Don't put those words in, you won't find us. Good night.
Good night.